Today I'm with Donna Berkelhammer, who is a lawyer, and she's going to be on the panel that is about the business of being an author. And welcome, Donna.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your company, about your practice.
All right, my practice actually has its roots in my first career, which was a journalist. I was a newspaper writer in South Carolina, and I started covering a lot of legal issues. And I realized I didn't understand any of the language, I didn't understand any of the concepts, and it offended me. So I went to law school thinking I was going to come back out and write about the law so people could understand, hey, there was this Supreme Court case, how does it affect you, Drew, in your day-to-day life? Instead, I work with small businesses exclusively, one-on-one, and I explain to them how the legal stuff impacts their business. And I like it because I do a lot of intellectual property, which is trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, and that resonates with my background as a journalist. Legal Direction is a firm I started about a year ago so that I could have very little overhead and I could work with small businesses and they could have the lowest fees I could possibly make so they can afford to get legal advice.
Great. Well, it sounds like something that'll help our writers out a lot there.
I hope so.
So, for a writer, okay, what kind of business entity should they be? Should they be a sole proprietorship, or should they be some kind of a corporation, or does it depend on the writer? Or?
Depends on the writer. You know, I first of all advise small businesses to have best practices for how you do what you do and make sure you're citing things correctly, and if you have source material, it doesn't look like you're stealing or plagiarizing or committing copyright infringement. That's the first thing for any business. And then you could be an LLC, which is a limited liability company, or you could be a corporation. Both of those will give you the same amount of legal liability, but they have very different tax perspectives, and so I would ask that you work with an accountant as well as a lawyer if you're going to start an entity.
Okay, and we will have an accountant on the panel with us, and so she probably can speak more to that from the accounting point of view. Okay. So, another question. Aside from copyright, what else does a writer need to be aware of in terms of legal?
Probably the second biggest issue for a writer is contracts. You know, everybody wants to get a publisher, so you want to make sure that you are not being taken advantage of and that you know what they're buying, you know, and now it's harder than it used to be. There's all kinds of different media rights. It's not just I'm going to print it, you know, do you want the publisher to be able to negotiate the movie rights? What about royalties? What about liability? So writers should know something about contract law. And then if you have a business, you may need to know something about trademark law. It's not just all copyright all the time, even for writers.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Well, we look forward to learning a lot more about the legal aspects of what it's like, what needs to be considered in terms of being an author or a publisher, because we may have some people that want to actually move into the publishing business. So we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at the conference.
Great. I'm looking very much forward to it.